Hi everyone, how you guys doing? How is the season treating you guys? So welcome to this wonderful video. My name is Promise, and in this today in today's video I'll be sharing with you on stories on how some parents have been able to parent without borders. I was able to attend this conference, or should I call it a seminar, and it was mind blowing and it was very insightful. So I thought to share this with you. So don't forget to subscribe, like this video, share, and comment. See you at the end of this video. See you.
That I've changed is on the side. Then the other thing is a powerful tool of storytelling. So everybody in this hall, everybody in the world is wired for storytelling. There is the power of storytelling. You can use it as a tool to destroy or to bring together. You can use it as a tool to build, to educate, to inform, and our forefathers used it back in the days when they would gather us under the moonlight and they would tell stories. They didn't do it because they wanted to while away time. They were intentional about what they wanted community to look like. And so they would call the children, they would tell them stories, they would tell them proverbs. How many of us actually listen to stories in that kind of setting growing up? I did. I was lucky to. And then I was also exposed to Tales by Moonlight. We watched it with mom, I watched it with my dad, right? And then those values they were impacted because there were tools that they were using to pass information. So you wanted the child to behave a certain way, you put it in a story. You wanted the child to learn a certain value, you put it in a story. You wanted to teach the child. I have a maths teacher. The way she taught me mathematics was through storytelling. She taught me subtraction. You know, when you have the hundreds, the units, and all of that. And I was having issues, and she just used stories on how Mr. 5 would now, run to Mr. 4 and pick something from there, say, we want to borrow something from you, oh please, and then if you put anything in a story, I would sit down and I will learn it. So parents are no longer using the tool of storytelling. Now we allow the Western culture to tell our children the stories. And so whatever the children, you see them behave in a certain way, they heard it in a story. We watch Nollywood and all of that. It's all storytelling. All of those things are storytelling. So those are the things that have changed. That is why the values are not being passed down the way through, from generation to generation, the way our forefathers did it. We're allowing other people to tell the stories for us.
All right, do you want to put your hands together for that? On screens, phones, tablets, please raise your hand. I know I struggle. Some of you, please, you'll teach a master class because some of us just don't know how to get it done. But I know even Dr. Issa spoke a little bit about the dangers of screen time. But I'm going to ask you, because I know this is your field, what exactly are some of the dangers to prolonged exposure? Is it when we talk about screen time, is it just because it's a conversation going on now? So everybody is just saying, screen time, or are there real dangers to that prolonged exposure?
All right, beautiful afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much, Ayomiko, for that question. So a lot has been going on. The lady from CC Hub said something that, when she travels, she would rather sleep or chat with someone. There is what we call situational awareness. And if not properly managed, too much screen time deprives us of that. Now, you find out these days that a lot of children are very restless. They cannot focus. What does that tell you? The screens, though has its advantages, if not properly managed, has so many disadvantages. So you want to be careful in exposing your children. That is why Dr. Issa said something that 0 to 2 years, they don't have any business being on devices or being on screens. So there's something we call media plan, a tribe I belong to. So in that media plan, it means you have a time when everybody has agreed that we are going to watch TV or do something on TV. Do you understand? But because, like Auntie Bola said, a lot of parents are busy. Because they are busy, they are not on ground to monitor and manage what is being done on screen. So since you are very busy, what can we do? Let's come up with healthy alternatives to engage your children. She said something about storytelling. Now, my mom, my dad has gone to work. They are not available. Okay, can we have an environment an enabling environment in the home where we are not always on our devices, but there are other things in place. There is a system, there are routines. Actually, holiday is coming. Instead of being on the phone or on the tab 24/7, I went to the hospital this week and I saw 2 cute children. There are things, it was a children's hospital, there are things to engage the children, but it's like they came from home with their devices, so they were not bothered. Do you understand? So imagine if every parent were aware, or every parent is aware, like we are here learning. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So if you are aware, you know, okay, at a particular time every week, everybody is going to do something together. So this is what they're going to do. You're going to draw. You're going to color. You're going to do puzzles. You're going to do this, that. So in that understanding, you will not expose your child or your children too much, because you know it's going to affect their sleep. Too much light on the screen is going to affect them, depriving them from sleeping. And there's something called, there's a dopamine that's been released in the brain. Too much exposure causes that high, like someone is taking drugs, taking cocaine, the same feeling also. So too much exposure will not allow you to calm down, to even focus on one thing or one activity. And we understand that the attention span of children is very, very little. Since you have that understanding that the attention span is very little, you want to be business-minded by being intentional to what you expose your children to, because the side effects are enormous. Restlessness, you cannot focus, you are sleep deprived, you cannot sleep, you cannot even focus on anything. Then you notice these days people don't even know how to use their devices. So most times you find the children like this. This is a bad posture. If you really want to use your phone or your device, you should eye level. So you are sitting erect. But people don't know. So the child is maybe at the hospital or somewhere, be doing your own, the parent is doing their own, because he or she doesn't know any better. And the child is playing a game. Oh, I want to kill this, I want to do this, I want to. But if you know better, you will reduce the time based on the age and based on what you want to also achieve. So I'll just say that there are a lot of side effects to exposing our children. We just need to be careful and be intentional. Parenting, I would say now, is about being intentional and being resourceful. It's not about showing off that you can afford an iPad when you don't have a system in place to manage that tool that you have improperly used. I hope that helps.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Shadi. Thank you for events and things like that. And I think that's very interesting. So how badly do you think women, especially because we're the primary caregivers traditionally, how badly do you think the lack of a support system has affected us in society, on the job, even being able to attend events, an event like this? Sometimes you feel, where will I keep the kids? How badly do you think a lack of a support system has affected women's productivity in society?
Thank you. Thank you very much. First of all, I'd say thank you to the leadership of the church, Pastor Godman, Pastor Adisa. I do not take this opportunity for granted. Thank you everyone for being here.
Thank you for being here.
Okay, so I think that before I can answer that question, I think first of all, like Dr. Isra says, just to lay a foundation of why you need a support system, especially women. So I'm biased. When it comes to raising children, of course, both parents, it takes 2 weeks to fly, so both parents must be involved in raising the children. But you know, when we look at our own side of the divide of the world, you realize that we have to be realistic about our culture and things. And we know that a lot of the parenting responsibilities, in quote, when I mean parenting responsibility, maybe I would say nurture and care and all that falls on the woman. So, and I think that the reason why a support system has to be, you have to understand the reason why it is needed is because when you have a good support system in place, and using that word good, I put it in quotes and I'll explain what that good means, is that it gives you the opportunity of the woman to be able to choose. So Bible tells us, oh, I give you the opportunity to choose between life and death. So even God knows that we need to have the power of choice. But when there is no good support system in place for the woman, she does not have the ability to choose. So she just says, I'm going to stay with my children, or I'm not going to stay with my children. So she can't have the two, in quotes. So she can't choose to say, I want to have a career, I want to raise a healthy family as well. So that's very important. And then also to lay a foundation that as a woman or as a man, when you know that, oh, I need a support system to be able to get fulfilled, you know, do the things I want to do, be like every other person, have that power of choice. I want to go to this place, I don't want to go, you know, I not feel like, oh, you are being cheated. I don't know if you've had that experience. I lived with my aunt, and you know, sometimes she would go back to 50 years and say, oh, it was because of your uncle, I was on that state back. And this is 50 years marriage, and somebody is bringing the story of 50 years. It means that that pain was still there, not wanting to achieve what they want. So I feel that a person is a person irrespective of gender. So every woman or every man should be able to achieve their dreams. So that's why you actually need support. So good support system, how do you even choose that? It's very essential. So you're asking me to choose the scale. I'm biased now. So maybe 9.9. The remaining 1.01 is the factors that you have to have that good support system. So it's not about just having, knowing that I have a pop-up crutch, I have a daycare, I have grandparents, or a system of friends that are helping you to nurture or care for your children like that. They're like surrogate parents, or secondary caregivers for your children. Is the fact that you must be able to choose as a parent what is necessary for me. So first of all is awareness. Who are you? I think Dr. Idrissa and Pastor Kingsley talked about that. Who are you as a person? Your self-awareness is the greatest thing you bring to the table as a parent. So if you don't know who you are, you don't know who you are, then anything goes, no vision. Because who you are is going to, it's going to determine your choices will determine your outcome. So if you are not able to say, oh, this is who I am, this is my value system, then I won't be able to take the right decision on which support system. For example, the school is a support system. Not every school is meant for your child. If you have 4 children, they don't have to go to the same school. They don't need the same school. But if you don't know who you are, you don't know who you are, you don't know where you are. For example, you might be at the beginning of your career. Somebody else might be at the later stage of their career. You don't have the same needs. So, your awareness of where you are in life, your journey, your position, what is available for you is the key thing. So, emotional intelligence, self-awareness is something you need to bring on the table. Get knowledge about it. Go on trainings about it so that you are bringing something tangible, like they say, what are you bringing to the table? That thing is self-awareness. Who am I? The second thing I would say that qualifies that good support system is knowledge. Coming to an environment like this, reading books, invaluable, because it will help you to be able to know, okay, what stage is my child? What kind of system do they need? Because, for example, knowledge will make you know that if my child, there is something only I as a parent can do that support system cannot do. So there is a part that I play, nobody else can play. One. There is a part that my child plays that I should not play. If I don't have that knowledge, I'm going to be doing our job and his job, or my child's job. And then there is a part that I can't play, my child can't play, but somebody else is fitted to play. Do you understand? So my child is in the teenage stage. I have 2 children, one is 17 and one is 14. There came a stage in my life that I needed a support system. So I don't want you to see support system. I think Dr. Joy listed that support system. I realized that there is a stage in my life that no matter how close I am with my children, I can't meet some needs. There are some people that are in their lives that I must expose my children to, that we have the same value system, we have the same understanding, so that they can help me to do what I'm not able to do as a teenage parent. So we need it. It's 9, I said 9.9, but that 0.1 is still based on the fact that you have to have a support system that is good, like I put it in good. And finally, to say that, like I said, that support system also, your choice of whether I'm going to work, needing a support system, or I'm staying at home, is based on your priorities, or what we'll call essentialism. What is important for me now might not be important for you. So they will say balance. I really don't know what it means for women to balance, because 50-50 will balance. I mean, 30-70 will still balance. 20-80 will balance. So you have to choose the battles that you are fighting part-time, depending on your priorities.
All right, thank you so much, ma'am. So
mothers are traditionally, what do you call it?
Primary
Caregivers. Primary caregivers. No, I'm not a fan of that, and I will tell you the reason. Meanwhile, parents are the primary caregiver.
Can we put our hands together for that? I think that's very
by the
enlightening.
time we want to categorize it that mothers are the primary caregivers, and that is why, most of the culture that we are raised with, right? When we're growing up, we're made to know that as boys, your responsibility in the home as a man is to provide money financially. And that's why we see some of my generation now that the only thing they really want to do in the home is just to provide the money. So whatever that happens to the children, they put the blame on the mothers. So that's why I always want us to do a kind of redirection. Let all the blames, the accolades, whatever, let it be on the parents, right? So now, and that is why you ask that question, that why is it that what's it needs that when the children see that the father is around, they change or they really want to be attentive to what is being said. So let me answer that with this scenario that happened in my house in 2017. And that's actually what gave back to my first book, Daddy, Where Are You? So that day, it was a Thursday, right? I wasn't around. Of course, my wife came from the office before me. So she was in the kitchen. Then my boy was 10 then the sister was 13, right? So my wife called my boy that, please come and join us in the kitchen. But my boy replied that, Mommy, you and my sister are okay in the kitchen, that kitchen is not meant for the boys. That women are supposed to be in the kitchen. Who taught you? She said that because he has never seen his dad in the kitchen. Then more so, in the civic responsibility of whatever citizens they taught them, that it was there that men and women are supposed to be in the kitchen. So when I put a call across to me that she was leaving, and he said, I said, please don't be the boy, let me come back. And I got home around 7 o'clock that day, and I asked my guy, what happened, bros? And the guy told me, exactly, I can't be in the kitchen. I told Mommy to give me any other thing to do, but kitchen, I don't like, because I've never seen you in the kitchen. I thought, okay, you are right. You have never seen me in the kitchen. I used to be in the kitchen, but because of the demands of the job now. So what I'm going to do is this. On Saturday, you and I will go to the market. We will buy the foodstuff, then we bring it then we cook. The guy thought I was joking. So that Saturday morning, fortunately for us, but unfortunately for him, it was during the rainy season. So we had to wade through the murky area of the market. I made sure that we went to who has ever been to Abattoir market? Exactly, Agege. So I stay in Nogba. We could have gone to Sunday market, but I said no. For this guy to learn it, we have to go into that. So we went to the place. When we got there, my boy told me that, Daddy, let's buy whatever we need to buy once, so that we can just be cooking there. I said no. I'm doing this so that you can learn. We're going to repeat this 6 times, and we did repeat it 6 times. We brought it home, we cook. At times, my wife will do the cooking. But I made sure that I changed that orientation of the guy, not to go with that mentality again. So when I was discussing that with one of my coaches then,
Yeah, I think it deserves
he now told me that let us bring out a book out of this scenario, and that's why that book came out. Daddy, where are you? There are some things that when our children don't see us through as fathers, they will not do it. They will grow up with that mentality. Now, the way I was brought up was to come back and beat my boy that he disobeyed his mom, right? Because nobody will allow, something like that will not even escape the wrath of my dad, where I was coming from, even though you will never see my dad in the kitchen. So the guy will do it, but by the time he grows up, he will grow up to become a monster in the house. He will tell his wife, no, it's not my responsibility to do that stuff. When I did it, it was because my dad beat me. But now, the guy never said that again. Once in a while, he's 17. Once in a while, he does the cooking. Like today now, that I'm here, if I wasn't going to be here. He's going to be the one that will cook for us in the home. And he's always telling me that, Daddy, thank you because you made me go through that experiential learning. And if we want our children to learn anything at all, these guys are experiential learners. If they've not seen the dad, the mom do anything, they will not naturally do it. I hope that answers the question.
Beautifully. Put your hands together. I think that
In this world, it is an aberration, abomination for any parent to be saying, I am busy. If you know you are going to be busy, that you are a career person, God will not judge you wrongly for saying, I want to get married, then I'm not bringing up children. If you know that you are going to be too busy, don't bring any child to this world. Thank you, Princess. I want to learn from you. She wants to find out something. She wants to be wholly healed before she brings any child to this world. Please, I want to appeal to every one of us here. If we know we are not ready, let us allow these children to stay with Baba God and enjoy your marital choice with your husband.
put your hands together, please.
So now it's answering that. Two perspectives. One, culture, right? Then another one, nature. So now, some of us men have been raised, or rather maybe we were raised beyond, or the culture we were raised with is no longer relevant now. And that culture is for us to just be provider alone. And we push the women to go for it. So many of us, we are living with that. We are still living with that now. So naturally, that thing is just on us. That when there is, and even when they invite them, they say, Mother, please go there. When they invite them, please, Mother, go there. Now, that is about the culture. And we need to come out of that culture. Unless we want the vicious circle to continue, such that our children, our boys, when they grow up also, they become Baba in the house. They just relax their mind that my wife just go and attend to them. Then the second one is nature, and that is about the psychometric makeup of many of us. There are some men, there are some fathers that I know that they are naturally quiet. They don't want to be seen doing stuff outside. So by that, they allow their wives to take the front stage while they are doing the backstage. So now, it is okay for me to be in the kitchen. That may not be okay for every father, and it is not a sin. If you're a man and don't like the heat of the kitchen, so be it. But let there be something substantive that you can do in the home, not to support, but to cohabit with your wife. Another word I don't like is when they say, what is it that men or fathers can do to support the wife in the home? No, you are not supporting anything. You are doing it together. So if your own is the fact that you don't like to be in the kitchen, can you wash? Can you sweep?
Can you clean?
Can you do the laundry? Can you go to the market to bring it home? So let our children just see that example. Do you know why? I'm afraid that we are churning still in this world. I don't want to mention that social disorder in our bodies. I go to schools to speak, and when I ask these boys, what is it about their life? What do they envision their family life will be? What those guys tell me, it's not something we really want to encourage. And it's because they've seen fathers do that to their mothers. I'm not talking about harassment or beating up. I'm talking about some social responsibility in the home. So if you don't want the vicious cycle to continue, if we want to raise boys who will respect our girls, who will treat our girls as queens like they are, we must be able to roll our sleeve up and be responsible in the home and show our boys and girls how it is being done. And how do we do that? By raising total humanity in the life of our children, both boys and girls.
Thank you so much. Thank you so